Alright. Hi, my name is Jeff, and I am the first affirmative speaker today, and our debate topic is on the ongoing military draft. Let me start off by asking, how many of you, including you, Professor, like the idea of your draft? Come on, raise your hand if you do. And then, now a second question. How many of you dislike the idea of a draft? Come on, raise your hands. For those of you who dislike the idea of a draft, let me start off by saying this. It is every American citizen's duty to protect its country from those who wish to cause it harm. And a draft is just one means of protecting it. Anyone who expects our country to protect them must have a patriotic obligation to defend it. This includes anyone, no matter ethnicity, race, or background. And for those who say the poor fight better than the rich, I say, why not give the poor a chance? Or I'm sorry, why not give the rich a chance? Why did I say poor? With all this said, I would like you all to bear with me as I discuss the invalidity of a volunteer army, the positive externalities of a draft, and the positive improvements of soldiers that would come with an ongoing draft. The first issue I wish to discuss with you, of course, is that in this day and age, a volunteer army just doesn't cut it in this cloudy, almost featureless atmosphere. With the number of volunteers being 13.9% in 2005 in the U.S. and dropping sharply to having no less than 79,000 volunteers. This is by the Army's own website. This is actually up on the Pentagon. If you want this link, I'll give it to you. It's right here on what I'm saying. That's less than 1% of the United States citizens actually volunteering for the Army. And what's worse is that this has caused many in the service who were only expected to be in the Army for a few years to now be no more than a few decades. This is what is known as a backdoor draft. Basically, our government does not have enough people in the military, so the people they have, they extend their service longer. And this has caused a lot of lawsuits, such as Santiago v. Rumsfeld, a case where a man named Santiago, an Oregon National Guardsman, basically all he did was he filled up helicopters, put gas in them. And you want to know what? He was supposed to get out this year. But our government said, no, we do not have enough troops. Your service extended until Christmas of 2031. That does not bode well for the soldiers who are currently in our Army. The second topic I would like to talk about is the idea that the draft would provide many positive externalities that would be beneficial to our country as a whole. With many jobs falling out the window, having a draft would indirectly remedy these problems. Because being institutionalized, which implies being housed, clothed, fed, and paid, which the average soldier who's in the Army for only 2 years gets paid $2,892 a month. No taxes, no anything. For these soldiers, that's money they can save. And because these soldiers are being paid to be trained, to be there in the Army, I mean, one of the in fact, one of the greatest myths is that our soldiers learn the art of war when they're in the military. That's not entirely true. That is one of the biggest myths our Army has. Our soldiers learn jobs. They learn computer skills. They learn mechanical skills. They learn how to work. They learn how to work on cars in the military and stuff. They can go out of there, get a job as a mechanic, an IT professional, anything. And those are all skills that come from the Army. And that's not on top of that, think about how much money our government spends on the Army. That's programs and application. Through this draft, through the military, we get new technologies. Through the military, we have had computers, GPSs, servers and computers, cell phones, you name it. All that money and all those ideas would come from draftees. With more draftees, we'd be having new ideas and new technologies such as that. The last topic I'm going to talk about tonight is how the draft will dramatically upgrade the quality of the United States recruit. The first thing it would do is give our military a better cross-section of youth, because many ambitious young high school graduates either go on to college or attempt to find other jobs. Now, how many people who have already joined the Army joined because they either couldn't go to college or lacked the basic skills to get a career right out of high school? The military would benefit from gaining these people because it would give them a much larger cross-section. I mean, we are proud of the current servicemen. However, most of the men and women currently serving all have one thing in common. They all have some sort of poor background. They are all very capable people. However, that capability is brought out through months of hard training in the military. The military have brought in, if the military had brought in people who already have the capacity to succeed, think about all that alone would do. I mean, you have people, that alone would save time, money, and people would just be overall more productive. As citizens of the United States, we are all equal and viewed as equals under the Constitution set by our forefathers. But what does it mean to be equal in the United States? Does that mean we are all born with the same things? Do we all have the same opportunities? The truth is that, for the most part, the answer is no. Some come from the bottom of the barrel and struggle to climb their way out, while others just sit at the top and look down on them. That's where our military steps in. It is one of the few services the United States provides that helps people progress to a level that makes them equal without compromising individuality. It is a necessary service that is set up in such a way that anyone who wishes to enter may. But who really wants to risk their lives for people who wouldn't return the favor? That is where the draft comes in. It makes it an obligation for every American citizen. Protect one another. Thank you.